Okay, let's set up to knit a panel. First, let's set up our machine. We have to put this in the up position on the innovations, and we have to crank it back towards us until the blue, till it stops and the blue needle is uppermost. And the instructions tell us to, I'm leaving a little extra yarn in case I want to do something on the other end later. So we start under the blue, behind, all the way around, just like we were doing a tube. This part is exactly the same. All around. Ending back at the blue one and under the next white one, and the machine stops. We bring our yarn all the way down, make sure it sets all the way down in there. I thread my tension device. Some people don't. It works best for me that if I thread it. I get a more even tension on my knitting. Okay, now that's the basic setup. I'm going to change the camera a little bit so that you can see the rest of it just a little bit better. Okay, back with a little bit different camera angle. I'm going to try to get these needles where you can get a good look at what's the action here. Of note, the blue needle and the 3 white needles will not knit. The panel will be made of 40 stitches on this machine. It's a 44 needle machine. All machines will have 4 less stitches in their panels. If it's a 16 stitch machine, they'll only have a 12 stitch panel. That's just how they operate. So let's go back. We're going to go back the other way, and it's the first row. So I'm going to see that slack form there? I'm pulling that slack back. And this will be the first needle that actually knits. And it did. Although it did leave a bit of a slack there. Okay, you've got to be really careful on this first row, especially the edge stitch of that first row. Okay, it's knitting good now. Everything is knitting fine. Coming on around. Get another puddle of yarn here. Okay, we're back at this end. So we have to go back the other way. And I'm pulling that slack. Got 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be the first needle that actually knits. And see, it wraps around that gate peg right there. And then that needle picks it up. And there's no slack on the end. And that stitch is knitting off good. Okay. Everything looks good. I can let go of my yarn and go on around to the other side. Okay, same process. The blue one will not knit. Keep the slack out. And that one, that end stitch knitted fine. All around. Sorry if I bumped the camera. Come all the way around till it stops. Going back, pull out the slack. That stitch right there is knitting like it should. I can let go and go back. And that's, my folks, how you knit a panel. That's all there is to it. Back a little, one more time. This needle's the one that's going to knit. It does. And there we go. Okay, we got some length going now to the panel. The sides are looking, I think, pretty good. No loopy edges. The only thing I've done is taken the two sides and clipped them to the middle of the back side with one of my clothespins here. Just helps it stay in place where I want it. I did find that the on the tension device here that I just needed the yarn over that first rung. My center pull has emptied out enough that it pulls out very nicely now. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to try to attempt to show you how to cast off on a contrasting color. Say this panel is done, or about what you want. So you can either cast it off with a tapestry needle, double pointed needle, digging out the stitches. I prefer to use waste yarn. So I unthread this, and because I don't want to cut it, normally you would just cut the yarn, but I'm going to drop it down in the middle because I want to rewind it, so I'm just going to drop it down in there and pick up my new yarn. This, you change colors exactly the same way, and thread it because it's coming back that way, and just start knitting back. I hope you can see this. I hope it works. Okay, this is the first needle we're worried about. As long as that picks up the waste yarn, that's all we need to worry about. The rest of this over here will drop off. Won't be a problem. And we just go ahead and knit it on around. Come back, take out the that is that piece. Anyway, that's how it works. This piece here is because it's attached to another panel I've got going that I'm going to unravel, and I don't want to cut the yarn, and that's why that happened. But that's how you change yarn. Change colors or start casting off in waste yarn. Picking back up now, got my yarn straightened out. I was knitting through one panel from one end of the yarn, then decided I would do another panel from the center pull of the yarn, and I got myself in a bit of a thing there. I don't think that's something any of you would do. It's just because I'm doing samples here. Okay. So we're going to do several rows to cast off, exactly like we did the other. If you were doing a stripe, maybe you want to do 2 rows of a stripe and then start back with another color. But it's that easy. And you can see, you can really get moving here. Okay. Sample panel is off. There's our starting edge right there with that weavy cast on. And the thing you want to watch, probably most interested in, are these side edges. They looking good. And of course they curl badly, and I'm going to show you something in another tape to take some of that curl out if you're interested, and watch for that tape. Okay, that's it.